Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Emma, and for today's video I thought we would go over my October and November reads. So I read a lot during the months of October and November. I read 8 books and I have them all right here next to me. I thought we'd go through them, chat about them, give you my star rating, and you can decide for yourself if you want to read them or not. I have left them all linked below. I get a lot of my books off of Amazon just because they are cheaper, but I do try and go to, we have a local store here called Half Price Books, and I try and go there first to see if they have it. Then I usually get it off of Amazon. If not, I do go to Barnes & Noble, but I find that Amazon is the cheapest. But if you do have a local bookstore near you, please go and get these, but I will leave them all linked down below. So let's start first with my October reads. I started October by reading Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I talked about this in my September book video, which I will also leave linked down below. But this came out at the beginning of October, and I flew through this one. I really loved it. This is the second book after Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It doesn't follow the same characters, but it follows 2 side characters that were in the first book. And it follows Serena and Cohen, and it kind of goes through their lives at the time. Basically, there are vamps, and then there are werewolves, and then there are humans. And Cohen is a werewolf, and Serena is half werewolf, half human, and they're trying to figure out how that happened, trying to figure out her family while also dealing with like all of the werewolf kind of drama. I ended up giving this a 4.25 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I flew through it, really liked it. I liked this better than Bride, I think. I really liked the politics of everything, all the twists and turns, so I would definitely recommend this book. The next one that I picked up was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. This was huge on TikTok and all over social media. Very heavy fall themed book. She actually has, I want to say like 5 or 6 of these out now, but basically it's set in this small town called Dream Harbor. Jeannie actually moves there and takes over her aunt's cafe that's in town, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And you follow her story, kind of dropped everything to move here and take over Aunt's Cafe, so she's learning that. And then she meets Logan, who is also a local, lived there his entire life, raised by his grandparents, and it follows their story together. I ended up giving this one a 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but it was very cheesy at times for me. I think I read this in about a week, and I did have to push through it at times, so I would still recommend it as a starter book for this kind of series. But that moves on to the second book in the series, which is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I liked this one way more. Basically what happens is in this book you follow 2 characters that were introduced in Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and manager of the bookstore, which her name is Hazel, and she grew up in Dream Harbor. Her dad is the mayor of the town, and you follow her life as a bucket list of things that she wants to do before she turns 30, and someone in the bookstore is leaving her clues on, kind of to get her out of her comfort zone. And in walks the handsome man, Noah, and he is helping her with this bucket list, and they start to form this kind of messy love interest in each other, and they're still trying to work through it all as she's like kind of trying to do all these things before she turns 30. All of that being said, I would give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I liked this a lot more than the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And like I said, this is like a 4 or 5 book kind of intertwined series, and I'm currently reading the 3rd book, which is called The Christmas Tree Farm, and I'm actually really liking that one as well. So if you can push through the first book and get to the second book, I think you'll really enjoy it. Also, I feel like you could probably read this as a standalone, if I'm being honest. So again, would recommend this book, 4 out of 5 stars. And next I started Assistant to the Villain, which is actually a series, and I read all 3 books in this series back to back to back. And the fourth book is actually coming out next August. It's called Adversary to the Villain. But anyway, in Assistant to the Villain, you get introduced to Evie along with the villain, and you later find out his name. But Evie is looking for a job to support her family, support her dad who has an illness, along with her sister. And she runs into the villain this random day in the forest and helps him escape in this battle with the king, and that you kind of get into that. So you get introduced to Evie. She becomes the assistant to the villain, as the name of the book is, and you follow their trials and tribulations with him kind of battling with the king. And you slowly find out that the king is not all that he says he is to the people, and there's magic. It's a great fantasy romance, but the romance is kind of dimmed down in this one. So I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it as an introduction to the series. And then the next one is called Apprentice to the Villain, also follows Evie, also follows the villain. You get kind of a dual point of view, and in this one you get more point of views from different characters that you learn about in Assistant to the Villain. She gets promoted to Apprentice to the Villain, so that's why that one is called this one. And then the third book in the series is called Accomplice to the Villain. So you still follow Evie, you still follow the villain, and their romance continues to blossom. There's all new plot lines that start to happen. And yeah, it's a really great series. I gave Apprentice to the Villain a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, very good, very consistent. And then the third book kind of dropped off for me. I'm not sure if it's because I was kind of losing interest and there was a lot of fluff, but I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Still really good. I think I read it in about a week, but my interest kind of started to go downhill. But again, the ending was really good. It kind of left on a cliffhanger for the fourth book, which again doesn't come out until next year. So I will definitely be picking that up when it comes out. But after this series, I decided to go more romance, and I ended up picking up The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and I loved this book. This was such a good romance. Follow Florence, and she is a ghost writer for a writer who no longer writes books but has a really popular name, so she can sell her books that way. So she has a 5-book contract, and she is working on the last book that is supposed to be a romance, and she can't write it because she recently got broken up with. So she gets assigned a new editor, and she has to go in and talk to him about how she can't finish the book. And his name is Ben, and you get to know him kind of more as the story goes on. However, as she's trying to finish this book, she gets a call from her mom, and her dad has passed away. So she has to go back to her hometown where she hasn't been back in 10 years, and all of these different plot lines unfold. You find out that she's actually able to see ghosts, which also just adds another element to it. And yeah, this one was a really quick read for me. I loved it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I thought it was a really good fall read. And then the last book that I read in November was The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. And wow, this book was so good. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. In the middle there, it took me a little bit to kind of get through, but you follow Georgina Stanton, and she is coming back to her hometown from New York City because she just got divorced. And her great-grandmother lived in this house and left everything to her. She used to be a famous writer, a romance writer, and she has one book that she left unfinished. So they need to find a writer to finish that book. And in comes Noah. And Noah comes off as very arrogant. He's also a very well-known writer, and Georgina and him butt heads inevitably. And it takes you through their story along with her great-grandmother's that she didn't finish. And her great-grandmother was actually serving in World War II over in England and met the love of her life. And you go through their story along with Georgina and Noah's, and you kind of get to know them a little bit better and find out if the story can be finished in the right way. And again, I loved this book. I love Rebecca Yarros's writing. Those are all of the books that I read during October and November. It was a very full month of reading for me. And like I said, I am currently reading The Christmas Tree Farm, and I'm really, really liking it. I think I'm about 40% in, so I'm very excited for that. I have a few more wintry reads up my sleeve that I'm very excited to read this month. And yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gives you some inspiration of maybe what you want to read next. If you have any recommendations for me, please leave them in the comments down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will most likely see you very soon with another video.